Hello everyone, today we'll be talking about the internal working of ChatGPT3. Quickly, before we start, if you are new to the channel, I would recommend you to hit the subscribe button and also press the bell icon so that you don't miss any interesting topics like this. Now we know ChatGPT3 is the talk of the town. GPT actually stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer. So we'll be discussing the training part and the transformer architecture in this video as well. So everyone, be it a developer, designer, or writer, they are talking about it. And why not? Because it is actually amazing. We can consider it as an interface between you and the data it is trained on. And based on your query, it does some processing from the data and generate the response in such a way that you may feel you are actually talking to another person, not a bot. But eventually it is a bot, but not the usual bots that we have dealt with in the past, where we have specific set of questions which were stored in their memory, and if we inquire about only those questions, then the bot will respond with an answer. Otherwise the bot is useless. On the other hand, if you see, ChatGPT3 is an AI driven chatbot which is based on machine learning and has trained on a very large data set. So there are two components here. One is it is based on machine learning so that as much as we use it, it will become more intelligent and its response will be more refined. And also it has been trained on a very large data set. So the knowledge base of ChatGPT3 is huge. Machine learning plays a very important role in ChatGPT3. Machine learning comes under artificial intelligence, where computer systems are enabled through experiences just like human beings. That means the more we use it, the more intelligent it will become, and it will be able to generate the responses for which it is not even programmed to do so. We will not talk about the neural networks and machine learning in detail in this video, but if you want me to do a video on those topics also, please do let me know in the comment section. So for this video, we will be focusing mainly on the transformer architecture. Oh, not this one, but the backbone of ChatGPT3. This ugly diagram which you are able to see currently. And in addition to that, we will also spend some time on the training methods and the size of dataset on which ChatGPT3 is trained on. These components you are able to see on the screen are the building blocks of transformer architecture. That includes encoder, decoder, probability calculations to identify the next word in response itself. Now let's see how ChatGPT internally works. I'll try to use minimum jargons, but it is not possible to eliminate all of them. Still, if you have any doubt on anything discussed in this video, please do let me know. I'll try my best to explain it. So the ChatGPT3 is nothing but a language model that uses a transformer architecture. So there are two different concepts that I have mentioned in this definition. One is language model and other one is transformer architecture. Now let me explain both of these terms before continuing. So a language model is a type of artificial intelligence model, or we can say a software that is trained on large amount of text data to predict the next word in the sequence of words. It is used to understand the context to which user is asking and structure of human language as well, which is also known as natural language processing. Second most important concept is a transformer architecture. So it's a kind of neural network architecture. So neural network is something which is present in human brain. All the neurons which are present in the brain, they are interconnected to store and process the data. This architecture is based on the similar behavior. It is mainly used for natural language processing tasks such as language translation and text generation. Now let's see in detail how the transformer architecture works. It is based on the idea of self-attention. So this one more term that you need to understand. What is self-attention? Self-attention is the way by which each element of the input request is assigned a weightage of importance and allows the model to focus on certain part of the input selectively to pay more attention. So what that means? So if you see in the earlier chatbots, whenever you query the chatbot, it will take your whole query and try to do a pattern matching as a whole, or try to exactly match it with its knowledge base and provide the response. But that is not how the AI driven chatbots work. So specifically in case of ChatGPT3, what it will do, it will break down your query for all the words which are present in it, and it will try to find the important words inside your query, and based on the importance of the words, the response will vary. So the more important words inside your query, they will have more impact on the response generated by the chatbot itself. So as we have discussed that this model calculates the attention score of each position in the input. So how these attention scores are actually calculated? So there are mainly three steps in that process. First one is transforming your input sequence into query, key and value using some linear transformations. So linear transformation is a mathematical term. Let's try to understand what exactly it's mean. We'll not go in much detail, but let's try to get an overview of that. So a linear transformation is a mathematical operation that takes an input data and transform it into output data in such a way that it will preserve the relationship between the data points. I know it's really hard pill to swallow, but let me make it simple with an example. Imagine you have a paper and on that there are multiple points which are interconnected through lines. So a linear transformation would simply change the position of those points, but not their relationship with each other. For example, it might stretch all the points along one axis or rotate them around another, but their relationship with one another will not change. That is known as linear transformation. Now let's move back to the attention score calculation. The query component is used to find the relevance of each position in the input. The key component is used to compare the query to each position, and the value component is used to construct the final representation of the input. Now, once that is done, the attention scores are calculated using the query by applying another function to obtain a probability distribution. So some softmax function is applied to identify the probability distribution as well. So if you are not aware about probability distribution, please do let me know. I will explain it separately as well. So this distribution actually represents the importance of each position with respect to the current position. So the probability distribution, we already know that the possible values that a random variable can take and the likelihood of each value occurring. So we'll not go deep in that. Now, once the distribution is calculated, it's time to assign the weightage of importance to every element of the input sentence based on the attention score calculated using the probability distribution. This calculation process is repeated multiple times with the different linear projections. This helps the model to capture different aspects of the input and to better understand the context and meaning of the input query. I know it's too much of technical details and most of the terms you might be hearing for the first time itself. Still, if you have any query regarding any of the components, please let me know. I will try to explain. Now let's see what all things actually happen starting from you sending the query to ChatGPT3 till you get a response back. So here is a high level overview of what happens. The input text that you have provided as an input query that is broken down into individual words or subwords by encoder. Then various mathematical operations are performed on those words. As we have seen, like linear transformations have been applied multiple times so that it can get the proper context and able to understand the user query. Then comes the self attention part where attention score is calculated using the probability distribution. The word with the highest probability is selected as a response and decoded back into text form and returned as a final input that we are able to see on the screen. Now let's see how ChatGPT-3 was trained. Like most of the language models, it is trained using unsupervised learning. It is trained on large dataset of text without any labels or annotations. It learns to predict the next word in the sequence based on the patterns and rules it is observing in its training data. Training dataset includes sources such as books, articles, websites, conversational data. The exact dataset used to train ChatGPT-3 is not publicly available, so we cannot comment more on that. It's also worth noting that the training data for ChatGPT-3 is not only limited to English, but also other languages, which allows the model to perform well on multilingual tasks as well. According to an article published on BBC Science, the model was trained using databases from the internet that includes massive around 570 GB of data source from books, Wikipedia, research articles, etc. And approximately 300 billion words were fed into the system. It works on probability as a result of which it is able to predict the next word in the sentence. This was made possible as the model underwent a supervised testing phase. It was fed inputs like is tomato a fruit or vegetable, and then team feeding these inputs has corrected the answer or output, which is also fed back to the system again. So that is how its supervised testing phase was done. So what if the response given by ChatGPT-3 is wrong? This does not guarantee a correct answer as it is based on the nature of the query. If the model gets it wrong, the correct answer is fed into the model, thereby training it to the right response and also helping it to build its knowledge base for the future queries. Now, I hope you got the very high level idea about how the things are working internally in this particular language model. Now, the bigger questions, or we can say the hot topics in the market, are first one is, will it replace Google? So, is it a threat to Google itself? So, as we use Google to search for the solutions of our problems, but there we have to go to various pages given in the Google search result and identify what is the correct solution. But if you see, the task of going to the pages and processing is taken care by ChatGPT3 itself, and that too was pretty well done. So yes, it is a big threat to Google unless Google comes up with something similar, if not better, in the due time. And we definitely have seen that Google is already in talks for the Bard AI. So we will see how it works and how much challenging it will be for ChatGPT3. The second big question is, will it actually replace the programmers itself? So there is a catch for that. It is just another tool to enhance the productivity of people with the skills and reduce the time to market of any software or application. So what exactly is the time to market? Time to market is the time from which start of the project till the launching of final product to the customer itself. So it will definitely have a very big impact on the project deadlines. Rest we need to wait and see. I think this is enough for today. We have covered almost everything for behind the scene for ChatGPT3, from training to the actual processing of input and generating the best possible response. Please let me know in case something is not clear and if any dedicated video you want me to make on any of the topics related to ChatGPT. Now, after this, in our next videos, we will see how we can leverage ChatGPT3 to get the things done quickly and efficiently. We'll see what all it can do and what all it cannot do. So, till then, thanks for watching. Keep learning.